I'm standing in front of a glass showcase at the Wallace collection in the very heart of London, where I'm delighted to be able to show you a unique cooperation between the Wallace collection and Butchoff Antiques. Here we have two pieces of French furniture, very rare pieces. One was acquired by the Marquess of Hertford, the fourth Marquess, the founder of the Wallace collection, in 1870. And that's an 18th century example. The Butchoff Antiques example was made approximately 100 years later. Here we have a unique opportunity to see them side by side. I don't think this has ever been done before, and it points out many fascinating differences and features. Can you tell which is the 18th century example and which is the 19th century copy? The 18th century example is by Pierre-Antoine Foulet, a maître ébéniste working in Paris. The 19th century example, interestingly enough, the family that it came from think that it was made by somebody called Rogier, a firm that we've never heard of. And when it was conserved, we found on the back of one of the mounts the name Rogier, which confirms the family history. We know that the 18th century example came from a Belgian family, a Belgian Viscount, who probably, almost certainly, got rid of it during the time of the Franco-Prussian War in 1870, when the Marquess of Hertford bought it. For the 19th century example, things are less certain, but we know that it was bought by the family who previously owned it, probably from the effects of the Sultan Abdulhamid II. He was the ruler of Turkey who was deposed in 1910. So how do we tell which is the 18th century example and which is the 19th century example? Well, it's not easy. They're both first-class quality, wonderful metalwork, wonderful woodwork. The one on the left is 18th century. It's signed by the maker, rather unusually signed very simply with a handwritten signature, Foulet, on the front. The 19th century example is not signed, at least not by the cabinet maker himself. That's the one on the right. How do we tell the difference? I would normally start from the back. When you look at the construction of an 18th century cabinet, it's normally completely different from a 19th century one. And believe it or not, the 19th century one is usually much better quality, and that's the case here. The other thing to look at is the mounts, and that's much more difficult. We're never quite sure how these copies were made. Amateurs, students, dealers, interested collectors would send people to make drawings of these pieces of furniture. From these drawings, we think they were able to actually work up a scale to actually make the copy. In some cases, not this one, the mounts are actually what's called surmoulé, when a mould is taken of the original bronze. But to do that, you have to take the bronzes off. And this is clearly not the case. The owner, Sir Richard Wallace, has not allowed the mounts to be taken off in this case. They have been done by hand. So you can see slight differences. The first and most obvious is that the original example, the Foulet, has the coat of arms of the Belgian family from Ghent on the front. This has not been copied. Getting back to the marquetry signature on the Foulet original, that has not been copied. There's no intention whatsoever to fake or mislead anyone. This was simply a commission for a wealthy collector who wanted something royal, something really, really good in his Paris apartment. Look also at the marquetry. The marquetry panels on the original are taken from well-known prints of the 1770s. These have been copied by the 19th century copyist, but not faithfully, not 100% accurately, so there are differences. The two pieces have been put very close together in the showcase of the Wallace collection to give you an idea and to compare the similarities yourself. We've done one or two other things just to make it clearer. We've taken a door off each one so we can compare the two doors side by side. And at the very bottom, on what's called the apron of the cabinet, between the feet, we've taken the bronze mount off so you can see the difference between the two. So in conclusion, I'd just like to take this opportunity on behalf of Butchoff Antiques to thank the Wallace collection for allowing us to show these two pieces side by side. Come and see these two pieces together in the Wallace collection. They'll be here until August 2014. Have a look at them for yourself. Try and work out which is the old and which is the copy. They're both the very best quality.